The 47th floor of Goldman Financial buzzed with its usual Monday morning energy. Through the floor-to-ceiling windows, Chicago's skyline pierced through the autumn fog, its skyscrapers standing like silent sentinels. Michael Richardson adjusted his Hermes tie, a graduation gift from his mother, as he prepared for the quarterly performance review. At 35, Michael had become accustomed to being the only one in rooms like this. Harvard MBA, Yale Law, 8 years of climbing Goldman's corporate ladder. Yet he still felt the weight of being the sole black face among the sea of investment bankers. His colleagues called him exceptional, a word that carried both praise and an unspoken asterisk.
Ready to enter today's mystery maze? Like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more cases like this. Drop a comment below and let us know what you think.
The morning had started normally enough. He'd kissed his wife Sandra goodbye, dropped their daughter Zara at her private school, and navigated downtown traffic while listening to the latest market projections. Nothing suggested this Monday would permanently alter the trajectory of his life. Conference Room C housed 23 of Goldman's finest that morning. The air smelled of expensive cologne and fresh coffee. Sarah Chen, VP of Operations, commanded attention at the head of the mahogany table, her MacBook Pro displaying quarterly projections that would make any shareholder smile. 9:15 a.m. Michael delivered his presentation on Asian market expansion. 9:35 a.m. Tom Davidson stepped out for a quick call. 9:42 a.m. Jessica Whitman excused herself to the restroom. 9:47 a.m. Michael took his bathroom break. 10:15 a.m. Sarah Chen's laptop was discovered missing. The room's atmosphere shifted like a sudden drop in barometric pressure. Security Chief James Morrison's voice crackled over the intercom. Code yellow. All personnel must remain on the floor. This is not a drill. The initial questioning seemed routine. Detective Lisa Martinez arrived with 2 officers, their badges catching the fluorescent light. She began interviewing everyone present, but subtle differences emerged in her approach. Where were you between 9:30 and 10 a.m.? She asked the white executives. Can anyone vouch for your whereabouts? She asked Michael. Empty your pockets, please, she instructed him, while others kept their hands free. Michael noticed Karen from accounting clutching her purse tighter when he passed. David, who usually joined him for lunch, suddenly remembered a conference call. Small gestures, microaggressions, the building blocks of isolation. Detective Martinez's preliminary report read like a study in unconscious bias. Subject demonstrated unusual calmness during questioning. Subject's attire, Armani suit, Rolex watch, seems excessive for position. Subject's recent purchase of vacation home in Martha's Vineyard requires further investigation. What the report failed to mention: Michael's role as senior analyst justified his salary. His watch was a 10th anniversary gift from his wife. The vacation home was co-owned with his in-laws. The security footage told its own story. Between 9:30 a.m. and 10:15 a.m., 37 people accessed the 47th floor. 8 people used the North Corridor restroom. 5 people carried bags large enough for a laptop. 1 person was singled out for investigation. Maria Gonzalez had worked as a cleaner at Goldman Financial for 12 years. Her testimony would change everything. I was emptying the bins near the women's restroom. The blonde lady in the blue suit. She was struggling with her bag. Something square, like a computer. She saw me and smiled, but not with her eyes. I remember because it reminded me of my former employer, how they looked at us like we were invisible. But we see everything. That testimony led investigators to review footage from camera 23B, previously deemed non-essential. There, clear as day, was Jessica Whitman sliding Sarah Chen's laptop into her Prada tote. Jessica's confession came 48 hours later. The laptop contained insider information about an upcoming merger, information worth millions to competitors. She had arranged to sell it to a rival firm, counting on her privilege as a shield. "I knew they wouldn't suspect me," she admitted in her statement. "I mean, look at me. I'm from Connecticut. My father plays golf with 3 board members. I didn't plan it that way, but I knew if anything happened..." She left the thought unfinished. She didn't need to complete it.
Are you lost in today's maze? Hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more unsolved mysteries. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments.
The company's apology came via email on a Friday afternoon. "Dear Mr. Richardson, we deeply regret the unfortunate circumstances surrounding the recent security incident. Goldman Financial prides itself on maintaining an inclusive environment." Michael read it twice before clicking delete. The words felt as hollow as the conference room where he'd spent 2 hours under suspicion, watched by colleagues who had known him for years. Sandra, his wife, suggested legal action. "They humiliated you, Michael. They need to be held accountable." But Michael had different plans. 6 months later, Michael Richardson sat in a different conference room. The logo behind him read, "Richardson Consulting, Building Truly Inclusive Workplaces." His first client? A major financial institution implementing anti-bias training. His story had become a case study featured in Harvard Business Review, Wall Street Journal, Forbes magazine, Corporate Ethics Quarterly. Jessica Whitman served 18 months of a 4-year sentence. Upon release, she published a memoir titled Privilege, a Confession. The ripples spread far beyond Chicago's financial district. Michael's experience sparked policy changes across multiple Fortune 500 companies. Security protocols were rewritten. Bias training became mandatory. HR departments developed new investigation guidelines. But the real change happened in smaller moments. A security guard pausing before making assumptions. A manager questioning their initial reactions. A board member reconsidering their definition of suspicious. Today, Michael Richardson's consulting firm employs 50 people and serves clients worldwide. His daughter Zara, now in high school, recently interviewed him for a paper on workplace discrimination. "The hardest part wasn't the investigation," he told her. "It was realizing that success, education, and hard work couldn't shield me from certain assumptions. But it also showed me how change happens, not just through policies and training, but through stories that force people to confront their biases." The Goldman Financial building still stands tall in Chicago's skyline. Conference Room C looks the same, except for a small plaque that reads, "Prejudice is the child of ignorance, William Hazlitt." 5 years after the incident, Michael returned to Goldman Financial, this time as a keynote speaker. The audience included familiar faces, some who had been in Conference Room C that day. His opening words silenced the room. "I'm not here to make you feel guilty. I'm here to make you think. Because the next time you see someone who looks like me in a room full of people who don't, I want you to ask yourself, what assumptions am I making? What stories am I telling myself? And most importantly, what am I going to do about it?" The questions hung in the air, as relevant now as they were that Monday morning when being black made him a suspect.
Thanks for joining us in the maze today. If you enjoyed this case, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Leave a comment below, and we'll see you in the next case.